Hi, I know I'm a bit late to this planning party, but that's just a testament to how badly I need it, honestly. So let's not lose any time because it's already February and I feel I should have done this back in January. So let's start with a bit of a review of 2025. 2025 was my first normal year in a while. Actually, my life, mostly my professional life, but personal too, started stabilizing in 2024. But it was now in 2025 that I finally felt fully comfortable in my new lifestyle. So comfortable that by the end of the year, I was starting to crave some new challenges and some new adventures, like starting a personal curriculum and reviving this channel. And none of that went according to plan, mostly because I rushed into it full of enthusiasm, but not much of a plan. um, when it comes to YouTube, I had decided, foolishly, that I was going to upload weekly without stopping to consider that I just don't have that kind of availability. And then I also wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to make historical sewing videos or tutorials like I had done previously because those take weeks, if not months, to do. But I decided I was just going to go ahead and start making videos. It resulted in 2 videos and 3 months of nothing. Because I somehow expected that ideas would just come to me every week and early enough in the week for me to be able to script, film and edit and upload. And just as I was expecting to magically get ideas, I was also expecting to magically find the time to do it because it never crossed my mind to schedule some YouTube working time. As for the personal curriculum, the initial plan was also very superficial. I started with pretty much just a reading list and an intention to study 10 to 12 hours a week. But again, I didn't schedule it, although here something else happened that interfered with that personal curriculum, and let's get into that. It happened that shortly after I decided that, recorded the video, uploaded it, announcing that I was going to do a personal curriculum, it stopped being just a personal curriculum. I had mentioned in that video that I was going down this route instead of going back to university because I had missed the application deadline at Universidade Aberta. Turns out I didn't. That deadline did not apply to me and I still had some time. So when I noticed it, I immediately applied and I got accepted. I am about to start a bachelor's degree in history at Universidade Aberta. So the personal curriculum suddenly became a lot more serious and at the same time less urgent because all that studying I was going to put myself through was only officially going to start in March and not in late October, November when I was organizing those or failing to organize those things. So that brings us to another thing that made this start of my end of the year new projects, new adventures, this bumpy. And it is exactly the timing, because I completely failed to take into account just how busy the months of November and December were already going to be. My boyfriend and I had decided back in the summer that we were going to paint the house in November. But it was our first time and we were doing it by ourselves in our free time, so evenings and weekends, and we weren't expecting it to take that long. We weren't expecting it to consume our entire month. And not only to take that long, but we also weren't expecting it to be so draining, because even on evenings when we couldn't do anything because things needed to dry, it was impossible to relax. The house was just so cluttered because we were emptying one room to paint it and then emptying another room. So everywhere we turned, there was stuff and furniture that didn't belong there, and it was impossible to focus on anything else. It was just incredibly stressful. And then November, it's just the holidays and the chaos of the holidays, which, unlike the painting, that was my first time going through that. Going through the holidays in December, it's not my first time at all. I should be expecting it, but I somehow thought that wouldn't interfere much with my plans. But anyway, it's already a new year. It's already the second month of the new year. So how am I going to do things better now in 2026? Well, to start, I got myself a planner. This one here. It's just a plain, very basic daily planner from a Spanish brand called Micalrius. And it really is just very basic, very minimalist in the design, which I like. It's exactly what I was looking for. And yeah, using a planner is a bit of a novelty for me. I have been using the bullet journal method since 2013, and I actually have here my very first bullet journal that lasted me almost 2 years, and the poor notebook is falling apart. And that method worked great for me while my work was a lot less predictable and I needed to adapt how I organized myself throughout the year. But for most of last year I found myself using a one-page-a-day layout, so I decided that since I was already doing that and doing it consistently for pretty much the whole year, I was just going to get myself a daily planner and stop drawing daily layouts, which is not exactly my idea of fun. Second, regarding YouTube, I am giving up on that goal that I never achieved anyway, of uploading weekly. I would still ideally like to have some sort of regular upload schedule, like every 2 weeks, but I'm not really holding myself to that. The goal is to dedicate 4 to 5 hours a week to working on YouTube, to just advancing work on a video. And this will probably look like 1.5 to 2 hours for 2 evenings a week. And maybe if I have nothing else to do, 1 extra hour in the weekend. So this is what I'm committing to instead of an upload schedule. I'll work consistently and the videos will be uploaded when they're uploaded. And hopefully that's not going to be months apart. As for studying, I've only enrolled in 2 modules because I think that's as much as I can take in my free time. And for this semester, the modules are Medieval History and Paleography, which is very exciting. And as far as I understood from the university's webpage, the workload is mostly reading, and then there are 2 written assignments plus 1 final exam per module. Which I might be completely wrong, but sounds a lot lighter and a lot more chilled than my previous arts degree that was super project based and we were constantly busy and drowning in work. So just reading, writing a couple of assignments and doing a test doesn't sound so bad, but again, I am probably wrong. And I still want to make sure I am dedicating enough time to it, so all the other evenings that are not YouTube evenings are going to be study evenings, although one of them will probably be a lot lighter than the others because I still want to, have a social life, keep everything balanced. And then in the weekends, I'm planning to do a bit more studying, a total of 6 to 8 hours per weekend. And again, how that's distributed throughout the weekend is probably going to vary a lot depending on what other plans I have. And that's it. It looks very feasible on paper, but we will see it when the classes actually start and I'll have to put this to the test. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it and I will be back soon. I promise. Até a próxima!